everyone, welcome to RedRaiders.com. I'm Shannon, this is Zach, and we're here previewing the Texas Tech and Arkansas game coming up this Saturday. Zach, it should be a fun one.
Yeah, you know, the old Southwestern Conference rivalry renewed right here, and we've had this game circled since the Texas Tech schedule came out as being kind of the identity game for the Red Raiders. Now, granted, we also didn't count on Central Arkansas and UTEP being such close games, but still, this is a monstrous game for Texas Tech. You're really going to find out a lot about this football team on Saturday.
Now, Zach, let's look at some keys for the game for Texas Tech.
You know, the first one for me is make Arkansas throw the football. I think we all know at this point Arkansas is going to try to run the ball down Texas Tech's throat. Tech knows it, Arkansas knows it, the whole world knows it, especially with the offensive line and running backs they have. If you can limit that run game for Arkansas and make Brandon Allen throw the football, I think only good things can happen for Texas Tech. He will make mistakes. He had a huge interception in the Auburn game that really turned the tide of that football game for the Tigers. I think the Red Raiders can do the same thing. If they can get a pick off of him, get that turnover margin in their favor, could be a good Saturday for Texas Tech.
What else should we look at?
Attack, attack, attack. That is the second key for me. Texas Tech has got to get off to a fast start. You have to remember something. Yes, Arkansas decimated Nicholls State last week. Who cares? Nicholls State is not a very good football team. Auburn, however, is a really good football team. Over 600 yards of offense against this Arkansas defense. Texas Tech has a talented offense when they clean up their mistakes. If they can attack early and often and get some momentum in that stadium, good things will happen for Tech.
And what else should we look at?
I think offensively, I'm going to go with another thing here. Find another primary target in the receiving game. It's obvious. Bradley Marquez has been a bad dude the last couple weeks for the Red Raiders. He's one of the best receivers in the country. Jakeem Grant, one of the most dangerous speed people. If Davis Webb can find a third target, a third person to step up and take pressure off those other two and just give them another solid go-to option, Texas Tech is going to be successful. And I think those outside guys, maybe the mix of Dylan Cantrell, DJ Polite-Bray, Devin Lauderdale, if one of those guys can have a big game on Saturday, in addition to Jakeem Grant and Bradley Marquez, Texas Tech's going to be okay.
Now, Zach, let's pick a pony. What should we look at on both sides of the ball?
You know, defensively, I'm going to pick a name. Keelan McElrath, a huge game stepping up and starting for the first time for Texas Tech last week against UTEP. 8 tackles out of that nose tackle position / end. That is a huge game for a big guy like that. And I know possibly Jackson Richards and Rika Levy could be back for this Arkansas game, but I think Keelan McElrath, his effort was immense last week. If he keeps doing that, Texas Tech's going to be okay. If he can have a big game against Arkansas, the Red Raiders might come out on the winning edge of this thing.
And what about the offense?
Offensively, I'm going to go with a core group as opposed to a name. The running backs. They've been really impressive for Texas Tech these first 2 weeks. 100-yard rushers. Those are just things we're not used to talking about with Texas Tech, and they've been different people. You talk about DeAndre Washington, Justin Stockton, Quentin White. Those guys have been huge. If Tech can establish a running game against Arkansas, all the better for the Red Raiders.
Now, Zach, it's time for our amped-up highlight of the week. Do you have any suggestions?
I have one, Shannon. I'm thinking Justin Stockton, the freshman running back. Pretty good game last week.
I think that's a pretty good suggestion. Now, Zach, Justin Stockton looks like he's going to be a pretty good asset for Texas Tech, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's one of those guys you're probably going to hold your breath every time he gets the football. That is a huge speed guy, and I'm sure Texas Tech's offensive staff is very happy to have a weapon like that.
Now, let's get a little bit more lighthearted here, Zach. I'm going to ask you to pick your wingman.
Okay.
You got 2 choices, Texas Tech coach Cliff Kingsbury or Arkansas coach Brent Bielema.
Man, this is tough. I don't know what everyone wants me to do here. If you're going to go out a night on the town, you need that wingman beside you. You can pick Cliff Kingsbury, but I think for a guy like me, that's probably a dumb idea. I'm a little bit of a bigger feller here. I don't know if I want someone that good looking next to me the entire night out on the town. He's just going to take all the attention away. I know he's a rock star, but I think I'm going to go with Brent Bielema from Arkansas. He's kind of a bigger feller there, and I think I might have a better chance if I got someone a little more equal stature to me as my wingman. Sorry, Texas Tech fans. I know Cliff is awesome, but in this case, I got to be selfish and kind of look out for me.
It's a very odd choice, Zach. And now let's pick the game for this weekend. Who do you think is going to take it?
This is a tough pick, and we've said earlier this week on some of the more lighthearted and funny shows that I have no faith in Texas Tech. That's not exactly true. Texas Tech's offense is very good, and they are at times when they click, they're outstanding. If they just stop the penalties and some of the bad throws, they really are going to be okay, and they're capable of overwhelming an opponent. The other key you have to look at here, of course, is the thing we've beat into the ground. Arkansas is going to run the football, and they're going to run it a lot. Texas Tech is going to have to limit them with their defensive front and their linebackers. If they can do that, Texas Tech's going to be okay. This is a game in Lubbock, should be a mostly sold-out crowd. This is an old Southwestern Conference rival. Texas Tech has a ton to gain from this football game. They are fully capable of winning this game if their offense plays the right way and their defense can create some turnovers. Unfortunately, I'm not going to pick them to win this game. I just can't expect a massive improvement defensively and on some of the offensive side in terms of the mistakes. I think the Arkansas running game is the deciding factor here. A very exciting game in Jones AT&T Stadium. I'm going to go 42-35 Arkansas.
Unfortunately, Zach, I hope that you are wrong, and I think
do.
everybody else hopes you're wrong as well. But of course, keep it tuned in to RedRaiders.com and LubbockOnline.com, and we should see how Saturday turns out for Texas Tech.
Absolutely. Should be a nice football fall-like 60-degree weather. You think you can handle that?
Yeah, I think it'll be very nice for us.
Well, we'll see you out there Saturday.
All right, well, I'm Shannon, this is Zach, and you are on RedRaiders.com.